I remember this particular episode when I was in school, where there was a music program which was going to go on. And on some day when I was probably had taken a sick off, the whole selection of the entire group which was going to sing was already done, which I missed. I went back to school and I realized that I so wanted to be a part of that program, but the group had been already created and the practices were on. But meanwhile, another student from my class told me that they're still taking auditions because they might have a couple of places more. And I just jumped onto that opportunity and I went for the audition. Now, I've always had this husky voice right from my childhood, and I love it now because it is the voice I've got from my mom and my grandmom, and both of them were amazingly strong, beautiful, wonderful women. And I absolutely love my voice. But at that time, I was at the peak of my self doubt that I will get selected. I, of course, went there and I found a lot of girls and boys who were waiting for the audition to get selected. There were about 30 students who had queued up for the audition, and the teacher and the team of senior students who were taking those auditions. Now, I was surrounded by the girls who had the quintessential sweet voice. Okay, they had the quintessential sweet voice. And everyone around me kept telling me, you are going to go for the audition. You have you heard your voice? How bad your voice is. I don't think you have a chance. You should not go for the audition. I know a lot of my friends telling me, I know a lot of people in that space where the audition was going on telling me. I was quite disheartened, to be very frank, because I was, I think, just 11-year-old. But the plus point was I was already learning Indian classical Shastriya Sangeet. For almost 1 year, I was getting trained in the Indian classical music, and I was taking it very seriously. I would do my practice and all of it. 11 or 12-year-old, I must be. Sixth standard, I still remember. So I just waiting in the line, and I thought to myself, that time too, that okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're just going to reject me, but I'm going to give my best. And I remembered what my Sangeet Guru, what she had told me, that just give your best every time you sing and know that you can do it. For every music item which I learned from them, all the music pieces which I learned from them. And I just decided to give my best, despite of knowing that I had a very less chance of getting selected. I was standing next, I was second in line. So a lot of students were giving and they were rejecting and they were telling them to go. Almost when my turn came, there was a girl with the sweetest voice. And I still remember the song which we were given for the audition. It was Tum Asha Vishwas Hamare, Tum Dharti Akash Hamare. A old Hindi song, but a beautiful one. I'd never heard the song too. But the teacher would sing and she would ask the person to sing after her. So the girl with the sweetest voice was standing ahead of me, and teacher sang once for her and told her that repeat after me. And in the sweetest voice, she said that song. She sang that song. And the teacher said, नहीं 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 बेटा आप सुर ठीक से नहीं लगा रहे हो. You have a good voice, but आप सुर ठीक से नहीं लगा रहे हो. Go. Now she was rejected. All the pressure was on me. If she got rejected, of course, at that time, I did not really understand so much. Although I was training in Hindustani classical Sangeet, Hindustani Shastriya Sangeet, at that age, I was not that smart. I would say that today's kids are very smart. I was a very simple child who would study, who would go for my Sangeet classes, who would take my practice seriously. And I used to love music. I still love it. And I went there and ma'am was in front of me and she said, okay, beta, please sing. And she sang the song. She told me to repeat after her. I took a deep breath. I closed my eyes and I said, I'm going to give my best. And I sang that song in my husky voice in the best way I could. And there was a student who was accompanying, she was a senior from the school. She said, ma'am, she's singing so well. And ma'am said, yes, आपके सुर बहुत अच्छे हैं बेटा, आपके सुर बहुत पक्के हैं, ये साइड आ जाओ. And I was, I'm still, as I'm feeling that, I'm still getting that feeling in my stomach where I was feeling butterflies. And because everyone else was rejected, there were about 15 to 20 students before me. They were rejected. And I was like, they are rejected and I'm getting selected. How is that possible? And teacher said that, aap ye side aa jao beta. And then the elder students started asking me to, they took my further auditions. They asked me to sing a couple of songs. Then ma'am asked me, a music teacher asked me, oh, beta aapke sur bahut achhe hai. Do you have a background? I said, background to nahi hai, ma'am, but it's just a year and I'm learning Hindustani classical Sangeet. And she said, come here. And then she told me to sing. Then she asked me, what have you learned in your music class? And I sang something from Rag Bhim Palasi, which I had just learned and which I really which I had practiced a lot. And she said, yes, you are selected. There were 15 or 20 students ahead of me. There were 15 or 20 students behind me. No one got selected. Everyone had the sweetest and the most beautiful voice. And I was here sitting with my self doubt because I had a husky voice. I was selected, and I still remember I was in a group performance which happened, and the rest is it was beautiful. It was for that 11-year-old girl, this was magical. And I just felt, what just happened? I really got selected. And then I went back to my music school where I was learning, and I told my guru that, ma'am, I've gotten selected. And she said, I'm very proud of you, Ashwini. I knew it was going to happen. Of course, after that, I did not pursue music. I was more focused on studies, and it just remained as something I just love doing and love listening to. And of course, until I found my soul sister, Bhageshri Sane, who is also part of our soul family. And with her too, I did some lessons of recent. Why am I sharing these stories? Why did I share this story with all of you? The title of this story is Own Your Voice. I literally owned my voice. And in those few seconds, I decided I'm going to just be me. I'm not trying to fake any voice. I will just sing in my natural husky voice, which was supposed to be really bad, as what everyone was saying on the day. But the music teacher and the senior students, my seniors, they really saw that in me, and I got selected. I sang on the stage, and because I was always the small, petite one, I always used to be in the front row in the center. So I think I got all the limelight for that music. My parents had come to see the performance, and I just loved that. And this memory continues to stay as one of my most beautiful memories when I learned, the a lot of techniques which I learned as a part of my coaching program. I still feel this is a memory which is very close to my heart. And here I'm sharing with you that when you are being you, when you are just being yourself, and when you own who you are, that is the time you attract opportunities, you attract magic. But that 11-year-old Ashwini knew that as children, we are very potent, we are very aware, we know of what we can create. But as we grow older, our experiences in the world make us believe that we are not good enough. And my journey, of course, which started in my late 20s to mid 30s, was a lot of coming back to this original 11-year-old Ashwini, who was just owning her voice. And I still remember walking out of that audition room with my head high, with a big ear to ear smile on my face. And all the people who had said that, oh, you have such a bad voice, were just looking at me and what just happened. But the most beautiful part was I had belief in me. I had belief in my music. I had belief in my guru who had taught me classical Sangeet. And I had the belief that I was just there to have fun. I was not there to compete with anyone. I just wanted to just sing. And that's what most of us want as children. We just want to be there. And when we are in that beautiful zone of I just want to be me and I just want to have fun, what we create is beautiful. In Access Consciousness, we always use the word being you. And there is a beautiful book by Dr. Dane here on being you. I would request each and everyone from this, whoever is watching me, to read that book, because that book is a beautiful game changer. When I read that book I would actually cry a lot while reading that book. And because I had so many aha moments, so many epiphanies of how beautiful that book was, and what a beautiful the representation of our mindset that book just puts out, and it's just beautiful. So I was being me, I was owning my voice, I was owning who I am, and I was just having fun. And these, my friends, are some of the things which high vibrational people do. What is high vibrational person? Someone who embodies good energies. I don't use the term good energies and bad energies. I use the term high energies and low energies. High energies are when you are happy, peaceful, content, looking forward, in absolute peace, in absolute bliss. And on the other hand, the lower energies are where you are feeling angry, where you are feeling worried. The worst is when you're in the victim zone, where you're feeling everything is happening to me and people are being bad to me. That's the lowest form of it, where you are feeling a lot of victim zone. When you're feeling shameful, when you're feeling guilty, when you're feeling afraid, when you're feeling jealous, when you are only in a mood to criticize. I think those are lower vibrations. So basically, when you own your power, when you own your voice, you create from a completely different space. And then you start living that life, your life, where you start attracting good things, where you start attracting opportunities, where you start attracting wonderful people, supportive people. So today I'm going to ask you, are you ready to own your voice? And in my case, it was literally the owning my voice, because it was a music um, performance for which I wanted to get selected. But this metaphor is for each and every one of you who is who is looking at creating something bigger in their life, and who is really looking at, like Dr. Dane says, being you, changing the world. What if you could be just you and change the world? So my question to you all is, are you willing to choose something greater by just being you? Or are you willing to stay stuck in the victim consciousness saying that, oh, the world is such a bad place, blah, 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 blah? The choice is yours, and the choice was always yours. And always remember, you always have a choice. Even when you feel you don't have a choice, you're having a choice, because you are making a choice to stay stuck in those energies. Thank you for watching this video. And if this video contributed to you, if this video made you smile, if this video inspired you, if this video helped you think more objectively and in a more positive way, drop a beautiful heart and share this with friends, family, and anyone you think would benefit from this. Until next time, I will see you. Bye bye.